Look at this room. This is a modern emergency dispatch center at 2:09 a.m. It operates on a steady, hypnotic rhythm of low humming monitors, quiet keyboard clatter, and strict protocol. For dispatcher Rachel, the night shift is defined by predictable routines. That routine ends when a new line connects to her board. There is no automated location ping, only a heavy, dense wall of static filling her headset. A voice cuts through the noise. It's a woman, barely breathing, whispering a single sentence. He's inside the walls. Emergency dispatch centers are built to impose order on chaos. However, the raw, suffocating panic in this caller's voice immediately overrides the room's calculated safety. Rachel sits upright, her training kicking in. She speaks in a low, even tone, trying to anchor the woman while she pulls up the property file for the address. The database returns a discrepancy. According to the city records, the house on that lot burned to the ground 8 years ago. There were no survivors. Rachel freezes, her silence stretching over the line. Through the static, the woman begins crying softly, warning Rachel that the intruder moves closer whenever the conversation stops. A massive, echoing thud vibrates through the audio feed, followed by complete silence. When the woman finally speaks again, she whispers, "He heard you." This emergency network is hard-coded to route signals from actual physical spaces. Receiving a live, targeted transmission from a location that has been an empty, burned-out crater for nearly a decade defies the basic mechanics of the system. Despite the impossible database results, Rachel follows protocol. She drops a pin on the coordinates and dispatches a night patrol unit to investigate the site. The next 20 minutes are an agonizing wait. Rachel remains in the climate-controlled dispatch center, miles away from the dark, rain-slicked suburbs where the officers are heading. The officers arrive to find exactly what the city records described: an empty expanse of wet grass and the charred remains of a concrete foundation. Through a radio receiver like this one, an officer keys his mic. His voice is tight as he reports that an unidentified figure is standing in the center of the dark lot. The officers now have visual confirmation of a physical presence occupying the dead space. This report eliminates the possibility that the initial call was simply a technical glitch in a routing server. The radio clicks open again. The officer's voice drops to a terrified whisper as he realizes the figure in the dark is looking directly back at them. The channel explodes into a roar of static. Underneath the interference, frantic screaming bleeds through the speaker before the transmission abruptly snaps off. Then, nothing. Just the heavy hum of an open frequency. Rachel is left blind, separated by miles of city streets from the scene. A second later, dozens of emergency lines across the entire dispatch floor begin ringing at the exact same time. Rachel pulls one of the blinking lines open. Through the static, the same woman from the first call delivers a new message. He can leave the property now. The woman's warning changed only after the patrol unit reached the burned foundation. By sending a physical response to an impossible signal, Rachel established a direct connection between the dispatch center and the source of the call. The consequences hit the building immediately. The overhead lights begin to flicker and surge, while computer monitors across the room start shutting off one by one. As the room goes dark, the screens snap back to life, automatically booting up the center's GPS tracking software in perfect synchronization. This map mirrors those monitors. Dozens of glowing active emergency signals move in a massive sweep toward the dispatch center at impossible speed. The swarm clears the grid in seconds, then comes to a dead stop, freezing directly outside the front doors. With the signals stationary at the entrance, the geographical buffer between the dispatch center and the burned foundation is gone. These high-security walls, once meant for protection, now define the boundaries of an inescapable space. The ringing phones across the floor suddenly cut out in unison. A heavy, suffocating silence presses down on the room. Rachel slowly turns her chair toward the dark corridor leading to the main entrance, waiting for the physical breach. Instead, a final notification flashes on this console. It's a new incoming call. The caller ID reads, "Dispatch Room." From somewhere deep inside the pitch-black office directly behind the dispatchers, a physical desk phone begins to ring. Some emergency calls were never meant to be answered.